Colleens and Lads? It is IXO64, and well, today's video is most definitely different. It's a top 10 video. These are the top 10 stoner sludge doom bands that you have never heard of. At least to me, that I don't think a lot of these people know any of these bands. Now, if you expect a fuck ton of information of every band, well, don't expect a lot. I'm going to be very brief and broad as much as I can be. And I'll try to get straight as point as much as possible, other than maybe the top 3. Probably more than that. I might want to talk about it just a bit. But if I leave out any information that you find important, well, my apologies then. But let's get the show on the road, because you have now entered the Doom Zone! Number 10. These guys formed in 2018 and are still present to this day. They would fall under the lines of stoner sludge doom metal. They come from Canberra, Australian capital. They have about 7 projects, 2 EPs, 3 full-length albums, 1 live album, and a split project. I haven't really checked that one out, so you might want to kill me for that. Not a whole lot known about these guys, but their shit fucking slaps, though. Mine and Strikers, I'm sure you know that guy. Favorite project by them is Derek. Songs like Ball Shaker, Burn the World, Trans Pyramid are just so fucking good, man. Especially when you're faked it, man. But I say they're pretty low on this list just because I think they could do a lot better. A lot of the tracks in them weren't my favorite and sounded a bit generic, especially with, like, you know, albums like Clones or the first EP, their first project, Akumakin. Just a lot of it sounded generic and a little boring. But I do think they're worth the listen, so check them out. Number 9. Now these guys, I don't have a lot of information about them. And they're fairly recent. I mean, like, new. But they fall under the category of stoner sludge doom metal nonetheless. Started in Portland, Oregon, formed in 2023, fairly new as I said, with their EP pre-roll. Oh, I wish I had one. Which personally, my favorite tracks are Resin Demon and Munchies. But I thought it'd be nice to shed some light onto these guys, as their EP is a banger, you know. Certain parts of the vocals, I think, either annoyed me, or I just think could have been done differently. But nonetheless, I think they're pretty good. You know, not too bad, just for starting out. Check them out, though. You might like it. Number 8. Chow Liquor. Now, I'm gonna be honest. When I first discovered these guys, I thought they formed in 2024. But I was wrong. If you take a closer look, you know, on Spotify, look at their comp album, The Horator's Lemon. That was released in 2003. That's not it. And then you search these guys up on the Metal Archives, website, and come to learn they have a lot more projects than you would have initially thought. Now, if you do use Spotify, you're only going to find their 2024 album, Back in the Hole, and 2003 comp album, as I said, The Horator's Lemon. But in all reality, these guys started in like 1993, same year as the Great Electric Wizard, with their album, Feel My Hate, The Power is the Weight. Originated in, hold on, give me a second. Arroyo Grande, California, in earlier years. Olympia, Washington, now. Please, anyone in the comments, correct me on my poor pronunciation. I'm not good, okay? I'm English. I'm fucking white. But the sound they bring us, you know, it's got the heaviness of Electric Wizard or Iron Monkey in some sense. It's got a very similar sound to that of like Grief, I Hate God, and Cough, with a lot of the atmosphere and drone-like noise used. I mean, either shove a thumb on my ass or give these motherfuckers a listen, as they got some mysterious talents that I wasn't even expecting.
Number 7.
Joke. One of my favorites. Started in Cape Fear, North Carolina, 2013. These legends started Toke, one of the best in sludge metal, and hard to really compare with any other bands. At least for me, it's hard to compare with them. Like a master of the arts, I tell ya, with their 2 albums being Toke and Orange, which phenomenal works, man. In the Doom world, fucking phenomenal. Songs like, you know, Legalize Sin, Winter Wizard, Weight of the World, you know, Return Rate, bring out like a rocky, bluesy atmosphere in the sound for their instruments, and reminds me of something like classic stoner rock, maybe even doom bands from like the 80s, 90s, like Saint Vitus, or something like Caius. Vocally, I find it hard to compare to anyone, only because it's me, and I just think their vocals are incredible. They have very unfortunate things happened in 2022, though. They disbanded because guitarist Tim Bryan had a motorcycle accident in September 2021, resulting in head trauma. He had to set a GoFundMe for his expenses as he began the road down to recovery. Then Toke would later disband in 2022, with Bronco starting a new band under his own name, which I don't know if I found the right band or not. On Spotify, I think I found Bronco. I'm not sure. It might be the right one. I don't know if they even have a Spotify for the band, but I mean, let me know, people. But closest thing for similarities, bands like Weedeater, Acid King, somewhat, Bong Ripper, somewhat. Which hey, that's a good ass instrumental band right there.
6. Black Pyramid.
Started in Northampton, I think they say it, Massachusetts, 2007 to 2013, and then they came back 2015 to present day. Also, previous members of the band were also in Palace and Thunderland and Black fucking Doom, if you know any of those bands. They have a total of 4 albums, 3 different splits, 20 million fucking singles, 1 EP, and one good comp album. And these guys are like if Sleep, Black Sabbath, and Shivi had a mass orgy and birthed God's beautiful little pretty princess of a band, because this band just goes insane at times, man. Now these guys have a similar sound that would go with progressive rock at times. More noticeable that I think are quite similar would be, The Sword, High on Fire, Shrine Builder, or even Legends Sleep. Them. I think my favorite albums are obviously Black Pyramid and 2. I checked out the new album for this year. It wasn't on their Spotify, so I was just But, I mean, if you want to, I can do a live reaction of that or something sometime. You wouldn't catch me listening to these guys often, but whenever you need to spice the JoJo Bizarre Adventure mood, then play some Egyptian-sounding doom. Some songs here and there are a bit bland and boring, but most of the songs are pretty much just bangers, man.
Final Throw.
Oh, Dope Throne. Oh, the mighty Dope Throne. Oh, don't you know how much I miss you. Started in 2008 in Montreal, Quebec. Canadians are now giving us the goodies. Thank you, Dope Throne.
Canadians are weird.
Now, these guys are obviously named after Electric Wizard's album, Dope Throne. But like Weedeater, Bongzilla, and Electric Wizard, all facing against the wall, being inseminated by gorillas, and brought us the holy world of Dope Throne. They have a total of 6 albums, 1 EP, 1 comp album, and 1 single, surprisingly. The best way you'll ever find their music nowadays is rare chances on SoundCloud, YouTube, and Bandcamp. Since a giant cunt named Spotify, had removed them off the platform. Typical. Now, Dope Throw's trying to get us, the people, to boycott these hoes. You know? These ass nuggets. My favorite albums, by far, from these mighty underrated titans of mass anal destruction are Okalaga, Dark Foil, I hope I said the first one right, and Trans-Canadian Anger. That's actually the one I checked out pretty recently. I like that one a lot. Now, please check out these guys, though. They, for real, deserve some respect and some acknowledgement. Like, genuinely, a masterpiece. If the people of Dope Throne ever see this, well, I fucking love your vocals, Vincent.
Please get the us. Yeah.
Number 4.
The myth, the legend, the one and only Bog Wizard. They started in Ludington, Michigan. The year they began, though, I'm not very sure. I'm just gonna say 2018, just because that's when their first EP campaign released. You'll also get some minor information on Spotify. The best description from them is just beautiful. Doom, sludge, stoner, metal riffing from the satanic panic era, with heavy TTRPG fantasy themes, fat riffs, and natural crits. Well said on God. Even Lemon the Wizard is green with the bangers they have out from, like, the Miasmic Purple Smoke, A Frog in a Bog, the Wizard and Pog, bringing a sexy frog lore sound. Like, I mean, I'd even croak and stroke my little froggy dick. Like, goddamn, just so nut busting, man. So cream pie worthy. Can't stop going back to the bubble. They have a total of 3 albums, 4 EPs. Just what came out this year. 2 singles. Very surprising. 2 splits. My buddy Lloyd said out of all his stoner metal buddies, no one knew this band, so this is a very underappreciated band. With only 1,826 monthly listeners from the time I checked. Now, I'm sure you've probably seen them on labels like Doomed and Stone, Cave Dweller Music, and The Weedeater, but nonetheless, please check out these guys. Absolute legends.
Number 3. Tripper.
Believe it or not, but these guys actually formed in 2014, but didn't release their single Decaying State of Mind until 2017. And they come from Fortaleza, Sharia, Brazil. Please don't persecute me. I ain't great with Portuguese, only really Spanish, and I still suck at that too. The best way I could describe these guys is if Crowbar, Iron Monkey, and Tin Sun Slug had sex with 6 goats, jamming while crammed inside of your tight, puckered little assholes, tearing and ripping through with such hypnotic riffs. The bass that'll vibrate your rectum better than those silly toys y'all be using nowadays. And they just released the ultimate form of music. Now this band is godly. No one can change my mind from that. Their album Dope Fiend and their EP Sabbath Worshipping Doom, having banger tracks like fucking Devil's Reject, Bastard Smoker, Black Roots, Rising Satan, and Drugs, and Hollow just make me want to nut so hard that even the dolphins cock when it kill me from ejaculation. Number 2.
Triple out of Frost Witch.
Now, these guys right here. Personal, I mean a personal favorite of mine and another viewer in the servers. They formed in Detroit, Michigan, 2017, dropping their first single, Spectral Light, the same year. As of right now, they have 3 full-length albums. 1 EP, 1 comp album, like 7 million singles, as it feels. The instrumental sound gives me like a Windy Hand, Electric Wizard, and Uncle Acid and the Dead Beats. sort of connection to the craft. Vocally, something kind of like Beastmaker or Electric Wizard, or even Monolord. It's like, you grab Doc and Marty, alright? Then threatened to tickle their butts and said, "We're gonna go to the 80s and 90s and masturbate to Satan. If you don't do what I say, you're gonna get fiddled by Mr. Bubbles tonight." My favorite tracks, personally, are The Glowing of Satan, The Fuzz Witch, Dead's Desires, Agony, Cursed, and Ashes. Their newest album that came out this year has taken to a different direction for their defined sound, which would be into black and doom. Which that's a fun one to talk about. Just listen to the first track, A Call to Pray, and you could definitely tell the newer direction they're going for, which I'm absolutely loving. Reminds me kind of like the Callius, but like fucking not depressed, and it being doom. It's like a pterodactyl spotted me and grabbed me by the penis, sucked the blood out of my cock veins, and inserted their anal probing device right deep into my fucking prostate. Please, I beg all of you, check these motherfuckers out. Worth the listen, I promise.
Never stop the show.
The moment we've all been waiting for. Motherfucking Mephistopheles, God from Parana, Argentina, 2013, with their first demo, Master Doom. But if it was me, I would have named it Mash Bait. In the early years, they had a psychedelic rock drone sound, and now they have a defined stoner doom sound, with a bit of a rockiness to it. With 4 albums, 3 demos, 2 singles, 2 EPs, 2 splits, 4 live albums, 3 comp albums. They might as well be fucking Acid Bath, I Hate God, and Electric Wizard of the fucking meth industry over here. Let's go with my favorites. Even the earlier rocky drone sound, you know? 08 XI 15, which is basically I'm Heroin tracks and tracks from horror in it, but more droney, rocky, bluesy sound. Horror, Satan, Sex Ceremonies, A Path of Black, La Bimbal de Satana / The Tombstone Boogie, Violent Theater, and low-key Devotional Doom do get me horny. Those are just albums. Shit I like. Musically, they give a very sexy Electric Wizard, Uncle Acid, and the Deadbeats 1782 sort of sound. The vocals most definitely remind me of that of like fucking Windy Hand or Uncle Acid or fucking Monolord, and their logo is most definitely gotta be Electric Wizard inspired. Like, they just look so identical in ways. Let's put a side-by-side comparison, alright? And I'll let you vote. Okay, back to business. Appearances they made that I've seen are from the likings of the Weedeater, Trip to Argentina, Forbidden Places, Escape to Weird Mountain Volume 4, Escape to Weird Mountain Volume 5, and Blues Funeral Recordings, what was it? Weedeater Volume 1. It's so hard trying to explain how much I love these guys. Like, amazing drum solos we got in, like, fucking Communion of the Vile. The beautiful riffs like in Drug Addict, Die in Vain, Solomon Eye, the eerie, dark Transylvanian, like, atmosphere in songs like Satan's Sex Ceremonies, Wrath of Dracula. Heroin, Lucifer's Son, like, I'm going to dick ride this band until I die. Like, they're just as good as Electric Wizard, or just literally almost the same, almost. Just different. They're just too good. Now this is the end of the video. This was my top 10 stoner sludge doom bands that you never heard of. This is probably long, who knows, but I hope y'all enjoyed the list. Some of the placements weren't too important. I mean, I didn't want to drag on too much, and sorry if I didn't say enough on some bands, you know. Some bands just deserve the spotlight a little more. I say the top 5 are the most correct in their order because I just love those 5, okay? Love you all. Remember, We live, not dead. We live, we kill.
Pepsi Man!